What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Survivor Now pre-show, the Survivor 48 pre-show, I should say. I always mix that up when I'm doing the intro because I'm like, I got to get in our name of Survivor Now, but then I also want to get in the Survivor 48 pre-show, which it makes it all awkward. But yes, you are here watching the Survivor Now podcast, and you're watching the Survivor 48 pre-show. My name is Randy. Today, I am joined by the amazing Tori and the incredible Ollie for today's pre-show as we get hyped for episode 10 of Survivor 48. Crazy to think that there's only
10.
10th episode. I think there's 3 episodes left of the season. I'm trying to think right now. 3 after tonight.
Yep.
That's crazy. But first things first, as people come in, and welcome everyone, you can join our live chat. Let us know how you're doing this evening. But we're going to get started here with our icebreaker. And boy, did you guys get roasted last week. We really talked about this, Tori. You said beforehand, everyone has differing opinions.
Yes, everybody does. That's what we all need to accept. We may not like it, but we all must accept it.
Yeah, if you guys miss Ollie, do you want to add in? Go ahead, Ollie.
To people that say we're casual fans, we know more than you. I'm joking.
Ollie went no. We appreciate all you guys, but if you missed it last week, we did Keep 5, Cut 5, Survivor 50, which is always going to get people stirred up because everyone has their opinions on who they want to be on the show and who they don't want to be on the show. So this week, I'm going to take it easy on you guys. This is the most whimsical, weird, crazy one we've done yet. It is all opinion based, and there's no right or wrong answer. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I want you guys to blind rank these 5 cartoon characters based on how they would do on Survivor.
Okay.
Ollie's face is like, what? Okay, this is out of left field here. Okay, there's 5 spots. First one up, Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Oh, I love Courage.
Cowardly. I don't know this character that well. All I know is that it was like on when I was a kid.
Yep.
I feel like Courage is absolutely scared of everything, but then somehow manages to
he's resilient.
Yeah, there's resilience there. But in terms of how they do on Survivor. Oh wait, it's 1 to 4, 1 being the best, 5 being the
1
best,
is
right?
the best. They would do the best.
Actually afraid of a lot of things, or is that just his name? I don't even know.
No, he is.
His name is Courage, the Cowardly Dog.
The Cowardly. Okay, duh.
So
okay.
I go with 4.
Okay, I'll agree with you because I don't know a lot about this.
Gabe says Courage would be endearing. So okay, we'll put Courage at 4. Next up, Bugs Bunny.
Ooh.
Okay, Bugs is sneaky.
Yeah.
Could pull off some crazy stuff.
He's gonna be causing antics the entire season.
Yeah. Bugs Bunny could be sneaky.
2? Do we go 2?
We can go 2.
Okay. I mean, I'm down. I think that he would go far.
Yeah, right. I also agree with Amy's comment. Just saying.
I hope the Tasmanian Devil is coming up.
Oh my God.
We'll have to wait and see. We got 3 more. So Bugs goes in at 2. Marge Simpson.
She's a mom. Moms have their stuff together, you know?
They do well.
They do well. And actually, I feel like Marge is very resourceful. She's always the one kind of having to sort out Homer's mess.
True.
Marge
So
has some fight in her, and she's pretty smart.
She would do better than Bugs, though. She might get played by Bugs. Do we go 3?
But this is the thing. I think she could get played by Bugs. But if they were both at a final tribal council, I feel like people would root for Marge and have better relationships with Marge over Bugs.
Her jury management's good.
So
Exactly.
do we go 1? So we think she's winning over Bugs. I don't know. Because
Amy's made a very fair point.
Wait. Is Bugs a villain?
No, Bugs would definitely. No, he'd be a villain. I think he'd be a villain.
I think he would.
might
I
be.
mean, yeah, he might be a villain, but I feel like in life he's like an anti-hero.
The anti-hero, you said?
Yeah,
You guys
that's
have
what I feel
one.
like in life.
You have 1, 3, and 5.
I say we go 3 with Marge.
Yeah, okay, I'm fine with that. Especially Amy's comment.
Might get out before final tribal.
All right, so you have 1 and 5 left. Your next one, Shrek.
Okay. He's pretty annoyed with a lot of things.
Yeah. That's the only. Yeah, he kind of gets.
He's gonna be a
annoyed
challenge beast. I'm just
I
saying.
was just gonna say
True.
he would like carry the team through the challenge.
Yeah.
I mean, he crushed everything at that. What was the thing at Lord Farquaad's like?
Oh yeah, his little gauntlet
Yeah.
thing, the wrestling ring and everything.
Going after it, like.
Do you know what? Screw it. I put him first. I put him number 1.
Let's go number 1, Shrek.
Go.
So
for
Gabe
it.
says, I think Shrek would be grumpy, but a challenge asset. So you want to put
Yeah.
Shrek first, leaving your 5th spot open.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
Are you
let's do
positive?
I don't care at this point. Yeah.
it. Okay, yeah.
All right. So you have Shrek at number 1, Bugs Bunny at number 2, Marge Simpson number 3, Courage the Cowardly Dog at 4, and your number 5th, Velma.
Oh, she's pretty
Ooh.
smart though. I wonder.
I think.
Stuff.
Nah.
Eh,
Look, at the end of the day, if people get annoyed with us because of cartoon characters, go yourself.
So true. So true. And you know what? Yeah, Shrek might be annoyed with a lot of stuff, but you know, he has a big heart. And like
Yeah.
I think that would come out at the end. So
I tried convincing you guys to switch it up because I knew Velma was coming. So that's why I was like, are you sure Shrek first?
So what you were
that's
trying
right.
to do was manipulate us, but we
Smart.
decided not to do your
and she
manipulation.
might be like weak in challenges physically, so they might be like, okay, early boot, like let's get rid of her.
Amy adds in, Velma's smart like Aubrey. Gabe says, Velma physically not good. So maybe you guys nailed it. So you had Shrek, Bugs, Marge, Courage, and Velma. Great job today, guys. See, lighthearted one.
You know, yeah, like hopefully we redeemed ourselves after last week.
And if we didn't, I will still sleep at night.
As will I, Ollie. As will I. Because I stand by most of my choices. Some of them were against my will last time. But.
Well, hopefully everyone has been welcomed in now. That was a fun icebreaker, but we are here to talk about Survivor 48. And one thing I do want to throw out, let you guys know, we have new apparel that just dropped today. A fresh look, our logo. It's fresh on a t-shirt. It looks really nice, I think. So you can get yourself one of these shirts or crew necks or sweatshirts. Go to the link in the description below, or you can go to our store, survivornowpodcast.com. Go ahead and go check that out. Guys, we have to talk about what happened last week. We have to review. The milkman, David, exited the show. Ollie, I'm interested to hear what you have to say again because your interaction with David all season. There's been a rivalry. And then I'm going to go to Tori after you. But what's going to happen now? What's going to kind of be the recoil now that David has left the game?
Well, first and foremost, I have no idea what you mean about rivalry. I've never spoken to Chocolate Milkman. I have no idea what you're talking about. But yeah, he left. JK, love you really, David. No, I think the repercussion is probably. I feel like it's gonna put maybe some targets on the people that feel a little bit safer, like Joe, Eva. I think they may start to get a bit comfortable. And I think this is where we might see Kyle and Shaheen start to be a bit more sneaky and step away from the honor and integrity thing. And I feel like we're going to get a bit more spark, a bit more drama. That's what I can see happening.
Tori, it definitely feels like this week it's going to ramp up. We've seen the previews where, we saw last week on the Next Time on Survivor where these 4 on the bottom, and this is going to be our next topic. I know we're kind of recapping what took place last week first, but we saw the 4 on the bottom kind of be like, look, we have to make a move now. It's 4v4. It seems like getting David out of the game has kind of opened things up for bigger moves because the last couple weeks it's been pretty straightforward when it comes to the votes.
Yeah, I definitely think it has opened the door for that. I think with that vote and the way that it went down, it could not have gone better for Kyle and Shaheen because I mean, part of that is because of how they were planting the seed in other people's minds about David and how he's calling the shots. And I can't remember like everything that was said exactly, but they were basically like planting these seeds subtly along the way. Like they weren't playing too hard with it. So I think that that was really, really smart. And then it also couldn't have worked out better just because of like things that David was saying that sort of like they were the things that David was saying were helping them out. Like it could not have gone better for them. I loved that. I do think that there's the possibility for big moves to be made now. I just wonder who they're going to swing at if they're going to make a big move. Because if they're smart, they're going to go Eva. Like, because enough people know about that advantage that they need to be scared about the way that she's been playing a strong game. She's in a tight duo or alliance or whatever you want to call it. If they're smart, they'll go for Eva. I just don't know if that's what's going to happen, though.
I feel like if they're smart, they'll go for like Eva Joe. But I feel like if they're playing safe, I think they'd go for Mary or Mitch. And the reason I say Mary is because obviously they had already lied to Mary and Star as well. And it's that thing of like, yeah, we've already kind of burnt that bridge there, send it out. I personally do think if that was to happen, it would be very bad social and jury management on Joe and Eva's side because there would be no honor and integrity in it. But that's just my opinion. But yeah, I feel like it's either kind of going to be like, it is that kind of thing of it's either they're going to go for like a big shakeup or they're going to go for something that's a little bit easier, possibly even Mitch or Star, because we saw Star vote for Mitch, so there could be something there.
I mean, you guys are making excellent points. I think Eva is definitely the route to go down heading into this episode because she still has an idol. I want to remind everyone, everybody knows about that idol. Everybody knows about that idol. Now, from Eva's point of view, she doesn't know that Shaheen was awake to see her walk down the beach. She doesn't know that he talked to Joe about that and there was something going on kind of behind her back, but we did see that she did end up owning up to it. Hey, this is what I got, which means she has another public advantage. And at the end of the day, you can trust whoever you want to trust in this game, but those thoughts are going to start creeping in the back of their mind of she's got two advantages. We are down to the final 9 at the moment. Okay, maybe they don't care this week. Then we'll be down to the final 8. Maybe they don't care next week when she uses her advantage. Now we're down to the final 7. Then you start having those thoughts of, are we ever going to start? She's got an idol, guys. And you start thinking if we don't target her now, she's just going to play that idol at 5 and guarantee herself a way to fire at the very worst. So that's why I think it's going to be very interesting to see how they handle that Eva and Joe situation. And I think this is actually going to be really, really good for Joe. Not that Joe has put himself in this position on purpose, but the focus is not going to be on Joe. In a way, he kind of has Eva as a shield because when they look at that duo, which I've been saying it for weeks now, they need to look at this duo. Like, that's a duo who are probably not going to split up. Everyone knows how close they are. When you look at that duo and you're like, guys, I think we should target Joe and Eva, they're not going to target Joe. They're going to target the girl who has 2 advantages right now to her name, unless they overthink it and they're like, well, we can't go for Eva because of her advantages, so let's take out Joe instead. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the remaining 7 navigate this situation in terms of Eva and Joe. I was saying 7, not counting Eva and Joe.
Okay,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The remaining 7, not those 2.
I'll be interested
So
to
remaining
see what
6.
happens. Oh, wait. What? Oh. I'll be interested to see what happens with all of that, too. I have 2 questions. Well, one's a question and one's more of a thought. My question is, so Eva had to, like, risk her extra vote in order to get this safety without power advantage. Does that mean that she also got to keep her extra vote? and she got safety with power? No. Okay, that's what I thought. But then somebody said that she has an extra vote, and I'm like, I think that's wrong. But okay, I think I was thinking sure that she didn't.
I'm pretty sure it was the case of like you can risk your extra vote and then gain this one, like gain a better advantage instead. Because then it was a case of when you got to the safety without power, you could swap that for an idol. You'd then have an idol because, like, let's be fair. If it was the case of then she'd get to keep her an idol, a safety without power, and even potentially an extra vote. Oh God, casuals, super fans, everyone would be up in arms. So I think
everyone.
Yeah.
And then my thought is that I wonder, and I don't know if they're really playing this way or if this is kind of like an old school thought from, apparently I'm a casual, so apparently this is an old school thought from a casual. I'm not, by the way. But anyway, I wonder if someone like Shaheen is going to like make Eva think that they're targeting her so that she plays an advantage.
I could see
doesn't need to.
That is an old school play. Yeah. What a casual play.
I know.
I could, but that's the thing. Like I could see that because I gave in the chat earlier, and this is more so towards Kyle, but I also think it relates to Shaheen, saying that Kyle and also I do believe Shaheen aren't incentivized to flip at the moment because they are both very much in this middle position. And I have this feeling that they are going to want to have their hands in all the cookie jars. Just this vibe that I'm getting is they want to play the middle. They are going to do whatever they can to keep the middle. And I think they will I think Shaheen would probably be like, hey, Eva, I think they're going for you. Like, I don't know. It might be a 4-4. Like, let's do this. And that might spook her enough to play something. But yeah, I have this feeling that they're going to, I agree with you, Tori. I think they might try and just spook Eva a little bit to waste an idol, but also try and stay in this middle position, which I don't think would work for them.
I don't know if you can stay in the middle position at this point. I think we're getting to, what I mean by that is I think we're getting to a point in the game where you're going to have to choose where the direction you want to go, because Kyle has been my winner pick all season. And I still like that winner pick, but he's going to have a choice to make whether he wants to go with this kind of stronger group or if he wants to really focus on his alliance with Shaheen or if he really wants to focus with his alliance with Camilla. Because we've seen it too many times where someone gets caught playing the middle and then it comes back to bite them in the butt. And they become the prime target. That's what I mean by you're looking at it final 9 now. Am I right with that, or is it final 8? It's final 9.
No,
right?
Final 8.
Oh, is it final 8? Oh, I've been talking wrong this entire podcast. My bad, guys. Okay, so you're at the final 8 now. You're about to vote someone out to go to the final 7. That's why I think this vote is so crucial to kind of pick a side. What direction are you going to be going moving forward? Because once you get down in numbers, it gets increasingly harder to play the middle. That's what I was doing on my season of Expedition Online is I was playing the middle throughout, and I played it too long. And about final 6, everybody caught on. I instantly became the biggest threat because then people start having conversations. This guy sits at the end. He's got so many friends on the jury. He's winning this game.
Yep.
And so tonight, I think it's crucial. Find your group of people. I'm not saying you have to out yourself on everything. You can keep Camilla as a secret number 1 ally, which you've been doing terrific all season, but bring in 1 or 2 more to be your core and move forward with them, other than what's going to happen tonight where we have a vast majority, right? With the final 8, you have essentially 4 who are very tight, and then that's what makes these other 4 Star, Mitch, Mary, and I think Camilla. Camilla would not be in that 4 because the other 4 would be Shaheen, Kyle, Joe, and Eva. That's why Kyle is in such a crucial position. Do you go with that strong group and keep Camilla a secret? Or do you kind of help Camilla out and flip it on the stronger, Shaheen, Joe, and Eva, who are right now looked at as the favorites to win this game?
Wait, I also have one more question about, this is also kind of random, but based kind of on what you just said. Does the Joe Alliance, which now all that remains of the Joe Alliance is really Joe, Eva. I guess we can put Mary in there, but then it's like Kyle and Shaheen. So do Joe and Eva really know that Kyle and Camilla are that close, or was it just David that was catching on?
I think it was David and Mary.
David and Mary.
It was
Okay.
David and Mary.
I mean, the whispers are definitely out there now because of what David has left an impact in the game, even though he's been eliminated, because those whispers were getting louder, and he was speaking facts. We saw everyone literally be like, oh yeah. I mean, I know what you're saying. I know. Those they're not just going to forget that because David has left the game. So now it's going to be really interesting to see, like, do they finally turn around and be like, David was making sense, and this is a duo we need to get out. And that's why I think for Kyle going into this episode, he's my player to watch. It's going to be so crucial how he navigates this.
True. I also saw in a preview that, so I think it was Star and Mary that were like the main part of the conversation. And then Camilla was also sitting there. And Star, I don't know, did you all see this preview?
I did see the preview, but I kind of just glanced at it.
So this was like an extra. I don't know if this was in the actual preview that we saw like after the episode last week, but we saw there was like a clip online that was like an added, like whatever sneak peek for this week. And it was them three talking, and Star was like to Mary, she was like, oh, you got played. And like, then Mary was kind of like, yeah, I did. So I wonder, like, are those two going to come together? Are they going to bring in Mitch? Is Camilla going to work with them? Or is she going to bring in Kyle? It's all very interesting dynamic, because I do feel like the people that we haven't heard from recently, I wonder if they're kind of like, if their edit is giving, like, sorry to say, but like no vote finalist, or if like they're going to kind of like emerge and make some of these big moves that we sometimes see towards the end of the game to put on your resume. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see like who out of those bottom people kind of come together and are like, enough is enough. Like, Mary, join us, and then maybe we'll get out some of these bigger people.
Yeah, that's the thing. The possibilities are endless. Like, again, like we said, like there could be this easy thing where people just kind of pitch Mitch and Star against each other. I do have this feeling that Star's going to be there for a little while, and I think like Star doing that, like having that thing with Mary, kind of is this thing of like, maybe like that's like something to look forward to. That like Adrian in the chat's kind of said it. I do think it's a huge, like, it can be a red herring for this episode. I think it's one of those we don't like.
They want you to think this, but
actually, I think it's going to go. That's why I think it's looking like it could be this 4-4. I do think it could be something simpler with like my assumption is Star versus Mitch, but could go any way. But we don't know. But I feel like it could be leading on to something that could happen later, because you will have Camilla, and I think as soon as Joe and Eva want to go for Camilla and kind of put their foot down on that, that's when you'll see, that's when you'll see Kyle break, because I think Kyle will stick with Camilla more than Joe and Eva. So that's I think it's more building.
I also did post a poll in the chat for everyone. I'm going to go ahead and end that. The question was, who would you target between Joe and Eva? And the fans think Eva, as she got 80% of the votes. So don't overthink it. Just target the person with the advantages and maybe kind of fool her. Maybe make her play her advantages for Joe, because that would be such a powerful move. It'd be a strong move. It'd be a huge resume builder at the end of the day. Guys, let's go ahead and talk about, before we take this ad break and give our predictions and everything coming up, because this time it flies fast when everybody's having fun here. I want to talk about the bottom four. This season, I'm not saying the editors have done a bad job. They've done a great job, but there has been, it's almost like a Survivor Australia type edit, with the sense there's a clear four people who aren't getting screen time. I'd say there's at least a good two, Mary and Star, who have been inexistent. And then you have Star more than Mary. And then you have Mitch, who started off strong, who's kind of disappeared. And you have Camilla. And that's why these are kind of the bottom four per se. That's going to be the huge thing going into tonight. That's what they were building on. I did say that we were going to eventually get to this point to talk about it, but we've been talking all about dynamics, right? You have Joe, Eva, Kyle, and Shaheen, who are like the top 4. Those are your winning favorites. Do we see this bottom 4 of Star, Mary, Camilla, and Mitch getting together? Or no, is this going to kind of be something where Kyle keeps his 4, keeps Camilla in the background, and the next 3 weeks, Mary, Star, Mitch, gone? Maybe not in that order. Maybe they shake things up in a couple weeks. But what are we expecting heading in tonight with that?
I feel like it's more so the latter of like Kyle keeps his 4, has Camilla as like his backup. But the question is it just those 3? Like for me, my thing is it just going to be Mitch, Star, Mary, Mitch, Star, like whatever it is? I don't necessarily think so. I think it definitely, this vote will be possibly one of the bottom 4, maybe next vote as well. But then after that, possibly, or even final 7, I could see something different happen, just because I think someone will clock onto something, or someone will kind of think like, right, I have to distinguish myself. That's what I can kind of see happening.
Yeah, it's so interesting because, I mean, I thought that they were going to start targeting, like that the Strong Alliance was going to start targeting each other even earlier. And then I started to think, okay, like maybe they're actually not going to target each other. But then last week I was like, okay, maybe this week. If at all, it's going to be this week. And it was. So now I'm like, okay, are they all going after the strong people? I don't know if it was just like, we need to get out David and then kind of like get back to our regularly scheduled programming of like, you know, the strong people are working together. We're picking off the bottom people. It's interesting. I do think ultimately, well, when it comes to Kyle, and Shaheen's kind of like in this spot too, so I'll include him as well. It's going to be like, at this point in the game, it is going to be a matter of like, okay, who do I think I can beat at the end? And I don't think that the answer is Eva. Like, I don't think that they could win against Eva, either one of them.
I don't either.
If Eva makes it to the end, they will not beat her. I do think that there's a world in which they beat Joe, though. So I wonder, kind of like thinking that and weighing their options of like, can I ride as far as I can with Eva still in the game and pick her up when we kind of like have to, or, I mean, I just don't know. So I do think that they can beat Joe. I do think that Kyle and Shaheen would beat, unless like some crazy thing happens where Star makes like a big move. I think they beat Star. I think they beat Mitch. I even think that they beat Camilla. So yeah, I think that their answer is like they can beat most of the people in the bottom group. So I do wonder if like they're going to start working with them sooner rather than later. But I do like, I think when I first started thinking about it, I was thinking that Mitch was going home this week. So I think that makes sense because I think that that's a person that like, okay, he's not really super tied to any of them. So like they all can kind of like the majority of people that are working together or trying to work together can agree on that vote. And they might be thinking like, okay, the jury might be respecting his game. So they might be like, if you let him get too far, he could win, even though we think right now that he could beat us. So yeah, I do think they're going to try to get out Mitch this week, but I do wonder, like, I don't know what's going to happen with alliances in these next couple weeks. I just don't know.
Yeah.
Tori, I disagree with one thing. So I was very much on the side of, I only said it like that because that's why we do these shows, to kind of, you know, go back and forth.
I love when people disagree with me.
Yeah, so you can feel free to cook me after I say it. Tori's the type that she'd be like, all right, let's go. All right, so I was very much on the side of, I don't think anyone can beat Eva with her story, what her, you know, her strong social game. And I know there's people out there who are just going to be like, yeah, she'll get the sob story at the end of the day. I don't think that's the case. Her social game is fantastic. She has a very good physical game. Yes, the story does come into it a little bit as well. But then I had my friend Mitch, who is actually very well spoken, and I'll give him his credit. I've told him before he needs to come on the podcast because he makes some excellent points. He thinks that Joe would actually beat Eva at a final tribal council because he says, yo, let's not forget that Joe also has an incredible story. We don't even know if he's brought up the fact that he's doing this for his sister. which he could definitely pull at that final tribal council. He's
Mm.
had played a very loyal game, even though David was like, you went back on your word. So I don't know if he can bank on David. Everyone else loves Joe. Everyone remembers when Joe went over to Eva to help her out. And he could pull that too. You know, I said early on, that's my girl. I have her back. If it sacrifices my game, it does. But even in saying that, this is how I played the game. This is why I'm here right now. If he's well-spoken heading into that final tribal council, my friend Mitch could be right. I think Joe might be the one person that I could see beating Eva. I don't see anyone else beating Eva at the end of the day. But before your pushback, there's a lot of people with amazing stories this season. And for the first time, at least for the past couple of seasons, it's been very obvious this person's probably going to win, this person's probably going to win, this person has. I don't see that this season. Like, I'm still like, I have no idea who's winning.
I would agree. I think, okay, so my only comment to that, because you make some amazing points. I don't think that Joe, if he's sitting at the end with Kyle, Shaheen, and like Camilla, I don't think Joe's winning. I also don't think he's winning in a lot of other, and I'll say a few other combinations. I think that if it's Joe, Eva, and like Shaheen, Joe may win. I mean, I'm not really sure. Maybe it's a toss-up between him and Eva, or I don't even really know. Because I'm with you. I don't see a clear winner. Like, it's not obvious to me who's going to win. So that's one thing I'll say. But the other thing I'll say, the reason I don't think that Joe wins in every combination is that I don't know if people like, well, I actually do know. Chrissy and people like Cedric do not like the style of gameplay that Joe, Eva, and like David had been playing. So I don't think that they're going to respect, even as good of a guy as he might be, as good of a story as he might have, I don't think that they're going to respect his gameplay. Also, now he's pissed off David because like he went was like his main man. And if he puts people like Star and Mitch over there, I don't think they're going to respect his gameplay either. So, yeah.
So to add on to that, I think this is I feel like I'm a broken record today, but what you've said, it kind of makes sense with it. If he puts Mary on the jury tonight, I think that cooks his game even more because you then have David that's already mad at him. You then push Mary out. Both of them two are going to sit there and just go, you can say everything we want, probably not going to vote for you. Like, I could see that happening.
And that's two votes on votes on a jury could be the difference between winning and losing. Going back to Kinsey versus Charlie back in season 46. It's literally what it came down to at the end of the day was two votes could have swung it. So you guys are making excellent points, but that's what I really do love about this season so far is like no idea who's winning this. No idea. I could make a case for almost everyone other than, and I'm so sorry, I love you guys so much, other than Star, I don't see anyone else winning. So we're going to go ahead and take a quick ad break. When we get back, we'll make our predictions on who is going to end up going home tonight, or who we think at least is going to go home. And we'll talk about these results of the poll I just posted. Make sure you guys voted. We'll be right back.
Think you're the most knowledgeable Survivor superfan? Well, you can put that to the test with our Fantasy Survivor game. Welcome to Bracketology, fantasy sports for reality TV. We provide fantasy football style games for your favorite shows like Survivor and many more. We also have bracket style elimination challenges. Set your picks once for the whole season to see how your prediction skills fared. And don't forget to check out the season extras like contestant info, where you can see all the bios of each contestant, and our scoring recaps that are published each episode. Download the Bracketology mobile app or play on your computer at fantasy.bracketology.tv. It's entirely free to play, and you can win some awesome prizes. Good luck.
Don't forget to set your fantasy teams. We are coming down to the crucial point of the season. We've got some exciting stuff as well. You can join our fantasy league for Survivor Australia versus the world. It's the first time Bracketology has done this. You can go to the link in our Instagram bio to join that. There might be some good prizes. We got to work on that. It's still months down the line, so give us some time, but definitely get in that fantasy competition. And we'll be covering Survivor AU versus the world this summer, so we are super excited. Ollie, did you pick your team for tonight? Who are you going with?
Yes, I have picked my team for tonight. I'm not going to say who, though, because I've been working very closely with someone in the bracket. So I'm now going to be taking tips from someone to see if that helps me tonight.
To get better. I like that. Is it Logan, our defending champion, who is winning again?
I'm not confirming nor denying those awful rumors.
That's
hey, Logan.
I will also add in before we kind of get back to Survivor 48. We hit 3,000 followers on Instagram this week. So thank you guys so much for the continued support. If you're watching this right now and you don't follow us on Instagram, head on over there at Survivor Now Podcast. Also, if you're watching and everything, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff as well. A lot of buttons that you guys gotta click here. All right, guys, what are we thinking going into tonight? We've talked about a lot. We've spoke about the bottom four, who could be in trouble in that sense. We've talked about the big moves that could be made. We've had so many people. I don't know if Ollie saved any of the chat. Let me see. But we've had so many people tonight basically say that this is such a pivotal vote. When you get down to the final 8, it's usually a big episode. It's usually a turning point in the season. So, Tori, ladies first. Who do we think's going home tonight? Which side are you leaning?
So, as I said earlier, my initial thought was Mitch. I think I'm still on Mitch. I think that that's the person that they will decide on. I think that they're going to throw us off a little bit and make us maybe think that it's one of like the bigger people. And I hate calling people that because like they're all out there doing the thing, like doing something big. But in terms of like how we're referring to people this season, I do think that they're going to make us think that it might be one of the bigger people this week, but I don't think that it ultimately will be. As I said earlier, if they were smart, and that they are smart. I feel like I keep like having disclaimers or whatever you want to call them. But anyway, these are smart people. But the smart thing to do at this point is to go for Eva, I think, because I don't know if she would see it coming. I think that she still thinks that she's in the majority. So I think that this would be the perfect time, but I don't see that happening ultimately.
I like it. Tori, you're spitting facts. I kind of like everything you said before. Usually I always end it, but I'll let Ollie end it this time. I don't think there's a big move tonight. It has been such a weird plug, but it's been such a great day for me. And I'm like, what could go wrong today? I mean, it's so sunny outside. I went grocery shopping, so there's a full food fridge. You know, there's nothing to be mad about. There's a candle lit. The place smells good. But 2025 has not been the best year for me, and it's probably going to keep screwing me over tonight when Mary goes home, because I am going to be devastated. That's what I was getting at. That's that long tangent. I'm like, it can't end. It's been too nice of a day to end on a positive note. And so I have this gut feeling that it's going to be Mary tonight, and I will be devastated. I haven't been this devastated since Candy went home on Survivor Australia. Brains v. Bronze too. And that devastated me so much that I stopped watching.
He's not lying.
I did stop watching, but it wasn't because of that reason. So I'm so sorry to everyone. Not to out. Ollie's going to message me afterwards. Why would you out yourself? I just fell behind. So that's my prediction tonight. That long rant to say, I think Mary, I think this week it's going to be another straightforward vote. I think next week fireworks begin. I think that's when we really saw people go to war, or see people go to war.
Yeah, I can. Not gonna lie, I can understand both of your picks. And I'm saying this is someone that has a 45% chance of losing one of their draft picks.
If you don't lose another draft pick tonight, it's over. Book it. Ollie is your fantasy champion. Because
honestly, I don't know how.
I'm so sorry to interrupt. I think you have already locked it up, because the only other person who has 2 people is Josh.
Yeah.
And he's like 140, 50 points back because they have.
Yeah, but you never know, because obviously Bruce is still slightly ahead of me, and he does have Eva, so that could still, because I remember when it came to 46 when I won. Because I lost Tiffany at the final 8 and I was just down to Kenzie, and it was still fairly close, because I remember that Abe had Ben and Maria. So I am just saying that anything can happen.
Okay, it can happen.
But I this is the thing, I can understand with both in the sense of I feel like Mitch could be the easy vote in the sense of they try and pit Mitch versus Star, and they have a bit more loyalty to kind of towards Star because Mitch has a lot more going for him. I think how it swings with Mary is Joe and Eva try to rekindle Mary and be like, we're so sorry that this happened. We want to prove that we are still in this strong alliance. We had to get rid of David because of paranoia. And it's Kyle, Shaheen, and Camilla that go, no, we want them out. And either Joe and Eva go with it, or they get blindsided, which shows us in the promos why it's that I feel comfortable. Maybe neither one of them get blindsided, but they're not in the majority vote. And potentially that's someone like Mary, someone like Star. Like that's maybe what could happen. But I'm also hoping for Mitch then. So it's everyone else has one, I have three. That's my ego.
So at the end of the day, none of us think that any of the big players, say like a Kyle, Shaheen, a Joe, and Eva, are going to go home tonight. We might have to wait another week to see that. That is everything that I wanted to cover today, heading into tonight's episode 10 of Survivor 48. But I did forget one thing. I wanted to share these results. I asked the fans who is most likely to make it deep into the game between the bottom four: Camilla, Mitch, Star, and Mary. 41% voted Camilla, 29% Star, 18% Mary, and 12% Mitch. Do you guys agree that Camilla is the most likely out of the four to make it deep into this game?
Currently, yeah.
Yeah.
I think just where her with her alliances right now, yes. But as we know in Survivor, anything can happen.
The only thing I can think of that might make my answer different than Camilla is if one of them, and as I said earlier, I think that like the bottom people might, like maybe one or two of them might be giving like no vote finalists.
Mm-hmm.
So
I was thinking Star could make it deep and no one expect it.
I think Star might be going to the final as, I'm sorry, but a no vote finalist. I don't know. That's just like what the edit, like what I'm reading into the edit currently, but that could change. I mean, there's still time to make big moves. And as I said earlier, I think in this new era, we see players kind of like play quietly until maybe like final, I don't know, the final 8, final 7, even like final 6, like, and you make all your moves around then, it could happen. I mean, you never know, especially depending who. It especially depends who you're sitting next to. So,
well, let's definitely see what people are saying as well in terms of who could be going home tonight. Gabe says, I think Star or Mary is screwed. Jay says, I think it's Mitch, Mary, or Joe going tonight. Joe would be a huge elimination. But the coverage does not stop here, everyone. So you see the pop-up that's up right now. Join us immediately following the episode. I think all 4 of those fine gentlemen right there, especially the one in the black, sorry, my bad. I think all 4 of those fine gentlemen will be there tonight for the after show, which would only be the second time this season that all 4 of us got together. We've all been busy. That's the crazy thing. And then tomorrow, join us for Survivor Stock Watch. That's 8 p.m. Eastern time with Josh and Will. And then on Saturday, we have Got Something For You, which stars the amazing Ollie, and then Matthew and Phil. That's 3 p.m. Eastern time, noon Pacific. And then on Sunday, join us for Survivor Social. That's 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific time. And they're trying to get a guest for that as well. So definitely stay on the lookout. Bruce says, I will be there. Yes, please. Bruce, we love having you, man. Amy says, thanks, Gabe. I asked that possibly determine who's a chance at immunity. That was from something earlier, I believe.
Yep.
And then also we have some Survivor AU content going on. This Friday, we will be sitting down with PD to talk with him about what went down through his own eyes and his experience out in Samoa. Ollie, you just had the incredible opportunity to sit down with Zara which was an incredible chat. Do you want to tell the fans about that really fast?
Yeah, so for anyone that was watching Survivor AU, we have, as Randy's been saying, we've got some postseason interviews with some of the castaways. Myself and Matthew yesterday got to talk to Zara. I would recommend watching it, not just because of biases I'm on it, but Zara really goes in depth of her game. She shows us a lot more than what maybe the edit showed. And it's just a fun interview. She's such a lovely person. I will always love her to the day I die. But yeah, it's a great interview. She's so fun. And she has been a supporter of the podcast the entire season and from before. So we appreciate her. And yeah, we love that. But yeah, it was a good time.
It's a fantastic interview. You guys can catch that now, survivornowpodcast.com or on our YouTube page, as well as we uploaded a clip of us discussing Survivor 50. That just hit 2K views. So get on over there and join the conversation. And then we're definitely going to be planning something coming up. Tori and I have kind of been talking about it, about an actual Survivor 50 video where we just talk about all of our predictions and what we want to see for 50. So that should be coming up very shortly as well. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. We've got 10 more minutes until tonight's episode. So go ahead, go grab some snacks, put on your PJs, and get ready for another night of Survivor. We'll see you guys next week.